All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful afternoon here at Rhythm City. My name is Mo Hyder. I'm the Regional Vice President and General Manager. And on behalf of the entire Rhythm City team, it is both my honor and privilege to welcome the Honorable Mayor Mattson, all the persons that are here in the room today, and I've seen quite a few of our elected officials that are here. Thank you for joining us. City Administrator Spiegel, and of course our city staff who work so hard to make things possible. We are absolutely proud of our relationship with the city. This Friday we'll celebrate our 7th anniversary at this location. Now, this is something that would not have been possible without the vision, partnership, and the collaboration with the city to create a successful entertainment destination resort, not only for Davenport, but for the entire Quad Cities. It is a pleasure to host Mayor Mattson and thank him for his leadership, and we're obviously looking forward to hearing the mayor's vision about the city today. And now with that, it is my privilege to introduce Liz Zimmerman-Wallman, and she's the Rotary Vice President, or maybe the President, not.
Thank you, Mo, and good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Davenport Rotary, welcome to the annual State of the City Address. It's been our honor as Davenport Rotarians to continue to partner with this event. I have had a tradition during my presidency to inform the group during our regular Monday noon meetings of what the international days and today's in history are, so if you'll let me indulge. On this day in 1967, Loving versus Virginia was decided, allowing interracial marriage in all 50 states. It is also on this day in 1939 that the Baseball Hall of Fame had its first induction ceremony, which include Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb. It is National Red Rose Day, and it is also International Falafel Day. So as we say at Rotary, celebrate as you wish. It is now my honor to introduce Reverend Rudolph Juarez from St. Anthony's Church for the invocation.
Lord, it is June in Iowa. The gnats and river flies are here, and so are we. But it is a beautiful day in Davenport as we gather to hear our mayor speak about the state of the city, as he offers us his insights and vision as we move our community into the future. We ask your blessing then upon our mayor. Give him the wisdom and the moral and spiritual strength to make the decisions that will help create a better, safer, more inclusive, and more prosperous community. Bless those who have suffered the loss of loved ones as a result of the recent building collapse, and those who are seeking shelter after losing their home and possessions. Bless those who have come to the aid of all persons in need of assistance and human kindness, and who are working for practical solutions in the middle of difficult circumstances. Bless those whose hard work and vigilance kept the floodwaters at bay in the recent flood, and all those homeowners and business persons inconvenienced by this event. Bless all city staff and employees, and those who assist our mayor in the everyday tasks and decision-making necessary for the successful operation of our city and the delivery of services to its residents. Bless all elected officials, aldermen and women, and all involved in city governance who serve our community and who invest their time and energy in building up our community. Grant them vision, wisdom, and perseverance. Bless firefighters, first responders, and Davenport finest, our police officers, who risk their lives every day for the safety and protection of the residents who live and work in our neighborhoods and whom maintain homes and support our places of business. Bless our business leaders, educators, activists, and community organizations whose vision and personal investment promote the growth, integrity of our city and help promote and provide for a more stable and livable city. Bless all of us, Lord, with a sense of humility in the exercise of our duties as we serve the common good and create a more equitable and peaceful city, free of violence, both in the matter of our attitude, our words, and our actions. Grant on this day a sense of gratitude for the gift of life itself, for our families, our community, our city, state, and nation, so that we may make and defend the rights and freedom of all who inhabit this beautiful land a priority. And finally, Lord, bless the food that we have already shared, which provides us with the nourishment we need to be actively engaged in creating a more just, compassionate, and peaceful world. Amen. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you our friend Tom Simmons of the Davenport Chapter 2 of the Veterans. And so, Tom, take her away.
Thank you, Father Rudy. I'm going to call Croy to the stage at this time. Croy will be singing, Croy is a senior at Central High School and will be singing the national anthem. And at this time, would you all please rise for the color guard?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Honor Guard. Please be seated. Thank you, Croy. It is now my pleasure to introduce a friend of mine who is also the president of Friends of Veterans Memorial Park, Bill Churchill.
Thank you, Tom. I am Bill Churchill, and I'm a longtime resident of Davenport. And I'm very proud once again to have the honor of introducing our mayor of Davenport. I had this distinct privilege 2 years ago, and if you were here 2 years ago, you may recall that I had you do a little participation. Well, I'm not going to ask you to do that today, so you can just sit and listen. And once again, after I finish, you will hear the mayor talk about some wonderful and exciting things that are happening in our city of Davenport that are going on right now and in the future. However, on the other side of the coin, as we all know, there has been a recent event in our city that has been absolutely devastating. Unfortunately, the city of Davenport has been confronted with a whole string of catastrophic events in recent years. We've had the record flood and breach in 2019. We had a worldwide pandemic, COVID, in 2020. We had a historic unrest in our city in June of 2020. We had the kidnapping of a 10-year-old child in July of 2020 and the derecho in August of 2020. These are all historic and extremely difficult situations that our city leaders had to deal with. It took great leadership and cooperation from a lot of people and groups to get through these things. Davenport has shown that it can do that. It can get through those things. And although the mayor will tell you he didn't do it by himself, he has shown that he definitely will lead the way. His training and leadership skills, developed as an Army Ranger and Sergeant Major in the Army, and his many years of experience on the City Council and now as mayor, have prepared him to be out front with the press and the citizens of Davenport for both the good times and the very difficult times. With his excellent leadership and the help of city staff and the City Council, the city of Davenport will get through this latest tragedy. This is what I know. Mike Matson is a man of great character and integrity. He is a man that is deeply committed to service with many years for our country and in our city. There is a line in the U.S. Army Soldier's Creed that says, and I quote, "I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills," unquote. I can't help but think his 20 years in the U.S. Army has carried over to how Mayor Matson has gone about his business as the mayor of Davenport. Make no mistake, he cares deeply about the people and the well-being of Davenport, Iowa. And remember this, if being mayor was easy, anybody could do it, but it's not easy, and that's why he's our mayor. He can do it. I'm proud to announce, ladies and gentlemen, our mayor, Mr. Mike Matson.
Thank you, Bill, and everyone that came up here and spoke. So I'm humbled by having to do this today. I'm honored to do it, and I want to do it, but I think the speech that you should remember is from Father Juarez. The invocation, the prayer, the advice that he just gave us reference our city, our community, and what we should do. Thank you, Father. So as we begin here today, I must take a moment and ask for your indulgence. Here in a second, I'll ask for a moment of silence. As Mr. Churchill just said, and other people have talked about, we've had a tragedy a few weeks ago here in Davenport, specifically in our downtown. 3 wonderful people passed. Brandon Colvin, Ryan Hitchcock, and Daniel Preen. Please, let's give them a moment of silence. Thank you. I also want to recognize all the residents that have been affected, impacted, and displaced. In particular, Miss Berry, who sustained a life-threatening injury. Our thoughts and prayers, our hearts are with them. And all we can say is, we wish you a speedy recovery, we wish you the best, and everything we have is with you. I want to recognize a few folks, especially the City Council today, who without their participation, their discussion, their debate, their interest, their caring, and sometimes it's tough discussions, sometimes it's debatable discussions, but these are the folks, and you can see them there. Alderman Grip, Alderman Condon, Alderman Dunn, Alderwoman Dickman, Alderwoman McGinnis, Alderman Ortiz, Alderman Kelly, Alderman Jobshin, Alderman Cornett, and Alderwoman Lee. If you're here today, and I know most of you are, please stand so you can be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, our City Council. Okay, so I'm going to do this just myself. All right, so we have some highlights I don't want to talk about, and I also want to recognize some other folks that are in the room, and I see, as they usually do, sit together. So the mayors we have today, Mayor Gallagher from Bettendorf, Mayor Tones from Rock Island, and Mayor Rayapati from Moline. Please stand and be recognized. And I tried to get everybody, but Scott County Supervisors, Chairman Beck and Supervisor Dixon, please stand to be recognized. Scott County Treasurer, Mr. Kenobi. NAACP, Vera Kelly. LULAC, Mr. Reyes and Ms. Jasmine Newton. School Board, Superintendent TJ, and President Gosa. Our wonderful friends from Labor, Leader Mr. Jerry Lack. Representing our respected U.S. Senators and our representative from our Representative Miller Meeks, Rachel Anderson, Senator Grassley, Penny Vasek, and Senator Ernst Michelle Beck. Please be recognized. Quad City Chamber, Ladrina Wilson, and others. And then we have, and I apologize in advance if I don't get you all, but we have folks from the Rotary, St. Ambrose, Family Resources, Russell, Bi-State, BIX, Visit, etc. You're going to hear at the end of this, I'm going to talk about partners, and I usually talk about partners a lot when I give speeches because the partnership and teamwork is the key to everything we do. I get to stand in front of you today and talk about things, but it's the key in the Rock Island Arsenal Defense Alliance. Our friends from the Rock Island Arsenal currently sitting to my right, Colonel Curry, the commander of the Corps of Engineers. All of these folks work together. All of you work together to make Davenport and this community a strong community, and I thank you so much for everything you do. So now I'll go into some of the highlights and some of the things we're doing in Davenport, some of the things we've been doing, and of course, it interconnects with the Quad Cities. So as you can see, our financial position is strong. We're aligned with our community priorities. The City Council goes through a pretty extensive discussion on what our priorities should be. We focus on public safety, infrastructure, economic development, and neighborhood reinvestment, and all of these things you will see me talk about in more detailed, but this is what we focus on, and you'll see some more comments about that in a second. We continue to have a financial strong position. You can see some comments, I'm not going to read them to you, from our bonding agencies, and we had an upgrade from Moody's recently. We have 28 years of receiving a distinguished financial budget award. Moody's upgraded us. Staff budget presentations have been recognized for decades, and we do that to many people. So just so you know, we're looking out for your checkbook, and we're very conscious, and the City Council is very conscious on how we spend your money, and people outside of here with their eyes are recognizing us for us. So we're in a good, strong financial position. We have a balanced budget, maintain our levies, so that means no city tax increase. State, certainly, you've all been following, made some changes. We're aware of those. We deal with it, and a credit to the staff and our financial folks and Ms. Mallory Merritt to keep us on tune to make sure we can fall within what the state requires us to do, because everybody knows the concern with property taxes. The state adjusted that, and because of our strong financial position, we can adjust, move on, and still make sure we do all the things that we need to do for the city of Davenport. We're agile, we're resilient, and we can react to changes. Because of the conservative budget priorities that we place, the city council places on our financial situation, we're able to adapt to many of the things that Mr. Churchill talked about. So, thank you. Next. We want to prioritize what the citizens want us to do. So through citizen surveys, through engagements, through our alder people talking with their folks, we engage, and we send out a survey, and you can see what people like. They like you to pick up their garbage. They think public safety is important, which is, quite frankly, the city council and my #1 priority. Quality of life, library services, police responsiveness, and we'll talk a lot about parks and recreation here in a moment. But basically what the citizens are telling us in a survey, what they're telling different people, that's what we focus on. Our services to you, public safety, infrastructure, and parks and recreation, and then quality of life. We're doing a lot of work in the city, and what people have been calling me about for months now. A couple years ago, they'd say, Mike, when are you going to fix the city? When are you going to fix the streets? When are you going to fix the sewers? And of course, the city council is hearing it as much as I. So now the calls I get are, we got too many barricades, we got too many roadblocks, we can't get around the city, you're making my commute hard, would you please take down some of the barricades? We'd like you not to go into the construction zones. So we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep putting more money into streets and sewers. The stuff under the ground people don't see, but that's important. We're going to continue to improve that, continue to work, and you'll see how that's helping with the floods, helping with other things in the future. But you want us to fix streets. We're going to continue to fix streets. We're going to fix more streets, and you're going to be more maybe confused or maybe upset that you have to go around barricades, but you're going to see barricades, you're going to see us fixing streets. So it's a priority you want us to do. We're going to continue to do that. You can get on me about that, but that's what we're going to do. Next. Record spending, I said that, $23 million just on this season that we're in right now. Thank you for noticing the orange cones, and thank you for not running into the construction zones and running over the barricades. But this is a priority, record spending, and my goal, and I believe I can speak for the City Council on this particular issue, their goal is to have continued record spending on our streets. Projects that we're doing, some major projects. I don't think anybody in this room probably doesn't know about 53rd Street and how long that's taking, and we're doing more of that. So that'll continue, but the goal is we're in the last phase. We should get that done until something else comes up. But Central Park, Cedar to Lincoln, a lot of people have talked about that for a long time. Warren Street, Clark Street, 7 neighborhood projects. So a few years ago, we used to not do neighborhood streets. A few years ago, we used to not do alleys, because the argument was we take money from streets. We don't want to take money from streets because we want to do streets. But the City Council said it's a priority, and so now we do neighborhood streets, we do alleys, and we do the major streets. We will continue to do that. We will continue to invest. The City Council is very interested in improving more of the neighborhood streets, improving more of the alleys, and getting after that. So we'll continue, and you're going to continue to see more activity in infrastructure. our friend from the Davenport Partnership, gave us a quote. I'm not going to read it to you, but concerning the spring flood, we all know what happened in 2019. We all know we had record rainfall. We had a barrier that was breached. But through our friends, and I'm going to give a great shout out, and you all need to give a little applause here to our friends from the Corps of Engineers, and they're sitting right over here to my right, so let's do that. So sometimes things are tough. Sometimes we have to go through tough times and have things happen so that we learn, that we grow, and that we fix what we were doing. And this is a great example. So in 2019, we understand people were not happy with us. So we engaged our friends from the Corps. Colonel Curry, thank you very much for your leadership on this. And during this flood, he put people with us every day to advise us on what to do, how to build the berm. We all know what the berm is, although somebody called me and said, the downtown's going to flood. Have you not seen the berm that was built? So the businesses, all the different particular parts, we have 9-10 miles of riverfront, engaging in our west end where they experience floods at 13 feet, the downtown and River Drive at 18 and 19, the East Village, etc. Engaging the Corps, engaging so many other people, and then quite frankly, building the berm bigger and stronger and having the Corps tell us how to do it. That's what we do. We learn, we grow, we have to go through tough times, and then we, thanks to all the many people that advised us and all the many people that did the work, and a special shout out to our public works staff who were on the ground 24/7, building, watching, enhancing, and fixing whatever they needed to do at a moment's notice. Let's give a shout out to our public staff workers that did the job. So we have a flood plan, and people keep asking, you ever going to do a flood plan? We've done a flood plan. Again, thanks to the city council, a couple years ago, they approved a flood plan. But sometimes you don't see things develop because they're underground, because there's different pieces to it. I want to give a shout out to our federal partners and Congresswoman Miller Meeks, who got us some money in the omnibus budget for specific projects like at Marquette and River Drive. We have other projects that we're doing in different places. So a lot of the underground work in the water and the river goes where the water and the river wants to go. And I know people keep talking to me about a flood wall on the river. Ladies and gentlemen, the river goes under a flood wall. The river will go around a flood wall. We're going to do a flood plan, and we have a flood plan that will incorporate, again, through our advice from our Corps and the wonderful work that our city staff does, fix the underground stuff, then through the use of berming and landforms and some of the other techniques, we have a flood plan that we're starting to implement. As our friends sit here from the federal government, we're always looking for more assistance to help do these things, as I stare at some of you. But in fairness, you have been there, and a credit to many of them that are sitting in this room have walked the berm in the West End, have seen the different pieces to this flood plan, and are engaging our friends both from the Corps and the national level and state to help us with this. So it will continue to grow, it will continue to be looked at, it will continue to be fixed, and we are committed to it. We're just awarded, so now we've talked a lot about the Canadian Pacific and the railroad, so we engaged with them. Everybody's aware that we negotiated with them to get $10 million. We then took some of that money and some of our upper money to work with the state to get more money so that we can fix things, have quiet zones, and all that stuff that people have wanted us to do. That's happening. And then we again work with our federal partners, our U.S. Senators Ernst and Grassley and our Congresswoman Miller Meeks and other folks to get assistance from our federal government. Here is one that we just got. And I'm going to pay attention and tell you this is zero city dollars. But we just got almost $8 million to do a huge need in our west end at South Concord Street, grade separation. So you can see that picture. That's happening. We got the grant for that. And my friend from the West End, Alderman Dunn, is extremely happy that we're working on this down there. So thank you. Public safety, #1 priority. So you're going to see some approaches, and you probably heard about them, and I'm going to talk to them. My staff is going to try and keep me in a little box here because I love to talk about this stuff, but we're committed to public safety, a safe, stable, and welcoming community. You're going to hear about that pretty much now. We launched our group violence intervention program with many partners throughout this Quad City region in May of 2022. The whole purpose is to keep people safe, alive, and out of prison. Multiple people in multiple places, teamwork is the key, and you can see on your pictures, many of the community members who are involved went out to DC, went to South Bend, went to Oakland, went to a lot of places to understand this approach. And you can see the statistics. I don't have to give you 90 custom notifications. A custom notification is something that you go right to the person you think will offend or reoffend or be a victim and talk with them and see what you can do to help them. That 4 number is pretty significant. And I'm proud to say, through the work of the community and our police department in togetherness to make this approach work, that is the key to this. Our police do a wonderful job. Our police department will catch you if you do bad things. But we need the community, and we ask the community to step up and partner with us in this GVI program. They have done that. We continue to do that. And then thank you so much to all the respective agencies around the Quad Cities, Family Resources, United Way, the investment from the Community Foundation, all of those people understanding this is a thing to do and are giving us funding and resources and staff, and we are continuing to grow it. And I see Ms. Durbin in the back from Family Resources taking this on as an ownership piece for them and running it, managing it, and staffing it so this can be successful. I can't thank you enough. And now, thank you, Mayor Tomes, for partnering and looking at this also. And then most of the community is buying in to do this, to be part of it, because we know the bridges are wonderful things, but they also create other issues. So we are happy to work with other people, and this is a success. Thank you very much to the community people working with our police to make this approach work. Coordinated assessment program, you probably heard this for a little bit. This is more youth-centric. I use the analogy, and some of you have heard this before, but we stopped a car a while back. Stolen car. 6 people, 6 youth juveniles inside. 1 person, pretty violent, go to detention. Another person had no idea what he was doing in the car, got in there because his friend got in there. Don't go to detention. The other ones, there's levels. So what do? Go to detention, go home. There's got to be something else. So we developed, and the name changed, and now it's the Coordinated Assessment Program, so that we can figure out what's going on with the youth. So when those 6 come to be in the presence of our law enforcement agencies or our police department, what do we need to do? How can we help them from doing it again? This is what it is. So there is an immediate, in less than 24 hours, person, adult, staff member that has been trained, brought in from outside of here, that meets with them, works with them, their families, to assess them, what services they need, and this is working again. Almost 700 referrals of people, youth, that have been contacted, working with, taking services, and getting them on the right path because adults care. And the adults that care are sitting in this room, sitting out in the community, and believing in things we're doing. I can't thank you enough. Again, Family Resources and so many others, United Way, and so many other partners in our community. I see Renee over there from United Way. Understanding how important it is to help people who need help. Thank you. So if you haven't driven on Brady Street, North Brady, and seen the humongous construction building that's going on there, and there's some drawings in the back, you can see them up here. The City Council, again, commitment to public safety, wanted to come up with just not a fire station, a community place, so that maybe, I know this is interesting, but police officers are out and about all over the city. And things actually do happen all over the city. But then they don't have to drive downtown to do a report. They need another place. A community center for people to use. A training tower. Police workshop. This is what Fire Station 3 is. that big investment by the city to put something in the north part of our city for a better location, a community location in our north part that police, fire, the community can use to help enhance public safety. It's just not a fire station, it's a workplace for police, and I'm so proud of that. Thank you very much, City Council and staff, for doing this. And I know this is a drawing, and people, and I even said it to our staff when we were looking at this, okay, that's so technical, and maybe our wonderful people in fire in the back could explain this, but they wanted to show the technical pieces to what we buy. It isn't just, oh, there goes a red truck down the road. The amount of things, the amount of technical issues and programs that are on these pieces of equipment to get, when they go to people, what do they need? What is the safety issue they have? Is it a heart attack? Is it a drug overdose? What is going on? Our people can get there, respond in all types of things. Do they need to go up high? What's the need? So we want to take everything, and the investment in public safety is seen by the continued investment in our fire department with the equipment, because our folks, our police and fire are wonderful, but they need the equipment to do their jobs, and our goal, my goal and the city council's goal and the staff's goal is to provide them with as many tools they can, as many new tools as they can. And if you haven't been to a fire station and seen some of this, the tools are really cool, and they're really expensive, but the investment is important because we believe in the safety of our community. Please. Economic and neighborhood development, you'll see some things about redevelopment. Continue to improve, new investment. Talk about those in a second. Yep. So, lots of things going on. You see a lot of names there, a lot of big partners working with the city to invest in our community. There's some big things there on those pictures you're seeing. Mid-American, Russell Construction, whole industrial park, Amazon. So people said, Mike, you're never going to get Amazon. City Council, you're not getting Amazon. Yeah, they build a building, but they're not going to staff it. They're hiring now. More than 1,000 jobs. And they were committed, we were committed. We delayed, they delayed, but it's happening as we speak. We are committed. The mayors of this Quad Cities are committed to bringing in business, to bringing in jobs, the supervisors, all of us working together to bringing in opportunities. This is happening. It's the biggest singular job creation event in this community. And that's opening in a few months. They're hiring now. Perseverance and resiliency is a key to a lot of things that are going on now, and we just keep after it. We don't say, oh, we're going to delay, we're not sure we're going to do. No, you're not. We're going to keep working with you to have this happen. It's happening. Because the economy changes, we understand delays, but we're going to keep after it. So lots of investment, and thank you to our partners at Mid-American, Russell, and Amazon for doing that. CBDG, home investments. You'll hear a lot about DREAM here in a second. Urban homesteads, the central city, improving people's lives. Lots of investment. Lots of investment. You see the stuff by our YMCA, the investment in housing going there. Programs and partnerships, and you see the dots on the map that you're looking at. Not doing enough, need to do more. We'll continue to look at programs. We'll continue to find money, work with our state partners, work with our federal partners to find more money, find more ways to invest. We're committed to do it, finding people places to live, homes to invest in. The DREAM projects, small business loans, we're continuing to work on that. We have a staff that's committed to it. We have a council that's committed to it. We'll continue to get after it. Continuous improvement, the DREAM. We're now in round 5. So there was a lot of discussion years ago on the city council about what is urban revitalization? How do you invest in central cities? What do you do? How do you do it? And it was a tough discussion. It was a long discussion, and we, quite frankly, at the beginning didn't know what to do. Then through the work of a lot of different people, the DREAM program was developed to invest in the central city, to invest in helping people fix up their home, invest in an open lot, do something different. We have DREAM, we have DREAM Plus, we have Extreme DREAM. Now we'll have the DREAM project in the 5th iteration. The application starts for the 5th iteration in August. you can see, and people weren't sure, well, you'll do Dream and then you'll let it go. You'll do this and then you'll let it go. No, we're committed to this. We're committed to Central City. We're committed to finding more money for this. We're committed to find more areas for this. And now you should say, after 5 iterations, I think we're pretty committed, and we'll continue to do that. And the council continues to discuss what other places, what other levels. Is there a Dream 6? I would imagine. Is there a Dream 7? I would imagine. But different views of that, that's happening. ARPA investments underway. Tons, the city was briefed on 60-some ARPA projects, narrowed it down to 10. Lots of discussion at City Council, good discussion at City Council, what we should pay for, what we should not pay for, how we should do something, how we should not do something. But one really cool thing is the thing we're doing in parks. And that picture from Hayes Elementary, so you're gonna see a list of parks that are having things done. Hayes, Fillmore, Jefferson. The things that are going in our parks, the improvements to things that are going in our parks were selected and picked by the children in our elementary schools. Not us adults, we guided them, helped them, but the children are deciding what to do, and we think that's important. Upgrades, and you can see the list, right? Replacements, 8 neighborhood parks have things going on. Again, what they look like, what they were, where they go, the children in our elementary schools did that. I'm very proud of this. The staff was very particular that we need children to be the deciders of us, because us adults can come up with stuff, but every now and then, you all know it, when you're sitting talking to someone, and certainly teachers know it, and a child says something, you go, you have my attention now. And I didn't think of that. That's why we're doing this, because us adults, I didn't think of that. You have my attention. Oh, you think this is important. You think this is what you need. Well, they're the ones using it, so we should pay attention. And then we actually took them serious and brought them into the meetings and had them look at and decide what we're doing. I can't be so proud. I'm so proud of that approach to do things in our parks based on what children want us to do. Here is another great thing we're doing. Long time coming. So you heard the word perseverance. This is simply the efforts of our friends from MLK Park, the NAACP, LULAC, keeping after us, and Estes Construction taking it on to do this park at a location close to where Martin Luther King spoke. If you haven't driven up the south end of Brady, you should see the construction going on there. We had a ground opening, and they're already, by the fall, this is going to open. A park in our downtown to recognize the wonderful contributions and leadership of Martin Luther King. I'm so happy for this, and it's such a credit, and thanks to the Friends of MLK for keeping after this, and that's what we need. Main Street Landing, a lot of discussion about it, but just think if you're flying over in a plane, just think if you're fixing to land at our airport, and many a times I see the planes coming on approach to our airport in Moline, and they're flying over our city, and they're flying over our downtown, and they do it at night in a few years, and they see the Figge lit up with artistic lighting. You see our downtown lit up by the Sky Bridge. What an awesome beacon of welcoming. I know there's discussion on, or continues to be, what it exactly has to look like, and the City Council is going to have that. But the design, the unique lighting, probably in the Midwest, probably not a cooler thing once it's done. So thank you to the state. Thank you to the railroad. Thank you to the federal government with ARPA, using other people's money in ARPA, and the railroad to invest and get other people's money from the state to invest here. And then things people have asked us to do. We need a quiet zone in the downtown because the railroads are already kind of loud. Now we're going to have more. Got to have a quiet zone. Got to have those overpasses. Got to have the crossings. That's happening because we got money to do that. If we didn't get money to do that, those things aren't happening. And then we also don't have these unique, wonderful things to draw attention to our city. Thank you so much for our staff doing the work for this, and our partners at the federal and state level for helping. Fairmont Community Center, another thing. People told us we need something on, by the Fairmont Library. places for kids to go, community members to meet. Again, good discussion at the city council, but the city council is committed to finding ways, finding things to put in different places around the city to help neighborhoods, help communities. This is an example. 4,000 foot plus community center for sports, drop-in activities, places for kids to go. Oh, by the way, it's near a library. They can go get a book, they can go read, do the activities in the library, and then go have some fun. That's really cool for the west side of our city. And an engaged community. We have some Party in the Parks coming soon for this year. We appreciate how active and involved our community is because that's the key to what we do. The people being involved in telling the city council members, myself, the staff, what they want, what they do. So we want to celebrate, and that's what we do with Party in the Park. So the big thing, and I'll get to Party in the Park in a second, but I assume everybody in this room has seen that there's that last Saturday in July will be a little bit active here in Quad Cities, specifically Davenport. And Michelle, I see you. Visit, I see you. You're actually sitting at the same table. How interesting, right? The Great Bike Break Parade across Iowa, starting in Sioux City, ending up in Davenport. Gold Run, Bix, people coming into the city with their bikes, running up Brady and around our east part of our city on Kirkwood, finishing downtown with the Bix Run kind of on the west side of the downtown, east side of the downtown, and then bikes going in by Veterans Memorial Park. Some people said, well, I don't know, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of economic development. That's a lot of people in our motels, and those are really two cool events. And Davenport gets to do this with us, our community, together on the same day. So I can't be prouder of Visit, Dave Harrell, Michelle at Bix, cooperating, engaging with our folks at the state and our city staff, saying, we got this, we'll take this on. Our police department saying, I got this, we'll take this on. Our fire department, but quite an event for the last Saturday in July, and I can't be prouder to see this happen. Those two are wonderful by themselves, and Bix every year does it. Ragbri not every year, but now we get to do it together. So, yeah. Party in the Park. Excuse me. So started in 2019. Alderman McGinnis, thank you for your vision. Fun way to bring city and community together. We've done a lot of these. It's just really cool to see people from around the specific neighborhood of that park coming out, many of them not knowing their neighbors, and they get to talk to each other, engage in some activities, share an ice cream cone. Alderman Dunn doing something special with his traits of techniques. And so first event's this Thursday, Lafayette Park downtown. Many people pass the word, really cool things for these neighborhoods. Very proud of the engagement that our community does. Art in City Hall. We don't talk about this much, but this is really cool. Engage with all our elementary schools, all our intermediate schools, all our high schools. The art departments, the students draw things around Davenport. And the schools and their teachers select one from each school, and we recognize them at City Hall. Art is a big deal in Davenport. The Figge, the Putnam, in the Scott County, in this community. We have so many wonderful amenities here. So when you can engage students in their love of art, and then combine it with their love of the community, and then recognize them, and you can see the pictures when we hand these little certificates to these kids, and they go, wow, you actually know I did something. I don't know about you, but that really touches the heart. That's what we do. It is important. We think engaging our youth is so important, and I applaud the city council. I applaud the staff for doing this. Partnership with our community, and I see, again, Mr. TJ, our superintendent, and Mr. Gosa back there, and other members. Our partnership with the schools is tremendous. We can't do what we do without our partnership with our Davenport Community School District. I'm so proud of that relationship. I'm so proud of what they do, and I thank you so much for your engagement with your community. Davenport U. So a lot of us have these programs to try and engage citizens about the community, but it's specifically about government. And I know a lot of people talk to me like, I don't like government until I need my trash picked up, or I don't like government until I call 911. I don't like government till I need whatever, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, A, the whole alphabet, until I need government. And government's not perfect, I'll be the first to say, and we have a lot of improvement to do, and we have a lot of work to do. But the engagement that people want to go through our Citizens Academy, not only does it give them a better outlook on what goes on in government and what the city does, but it creates people that want to get engaged. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting out here and you know of someone that's interested in doing something, but maybe they don't want to be on city council, but they want to do something, we have a lot of boards and commissions. We have a lot of people that want to serve. And a lot of the folks we get are through our Davenport U Academy. But if you know of someone, please have them get a hold of me so we can try and find a spot, because we have so many boards and commissions, and we have a lot of people a lot of spots that we need filled. A lot of different things, from planning and zoning to design review to park and recreations, et cetera. So we just completed our 7th cohort in May. Seven groups of folks going through learning about city government. Great way to get engaged. Thank you to our staff for leading this. Neighborhoods, community engagement. You can see the picture. Over 100 good neighbor project groups. 28 community events. Over 100 neighborhood organizations in our city. Concerned citizens, engaged neighborhoods. Coffee with COP, partnership with Hy-Vee, thank you Hy-Vee. Community-wide egg hunts, Halloween parades, other things. But neighbors just getting together and talking about what they want in their neighborhood, and the discussing with the city council members or the staff about what they want in their neighborhood, and then trying to find a way to do those things. That's the key to what we do in city government, is engage with the community, and this is another good example. So, lots of pictures of staff. None of this happens. Again, I get to stand in front of you and talk about all the cool things we do. And we got a lot of work to do, and we got a lot of improvement to work on. And we always have that. But I can't thank the staff enough, the city administrator, Ms. Spiegel, our department heads, and we have 6 departments that are nationally accredited. Nowhere else in the state does a city have that. Our fire department, our police department, our public works, our park and recreation, neighborhood services division, library, all nationally accredited. Again, nobody else in the state has that. We think it's important to have outside eyes look at our departments and tell us what we need to do better. And I thank the departments and all of our departments for doing that work and taking it upon themselves to engage outside eyes to come into their place of work, come into their departments, and discuss and, quite frankly, critique them on how they do their business. And because of that, outside organizations critique them and then accredit them. Nothing happens without our staff. Nothing gets improved without a quality staff, and I'm so proud of our staff. And if you're a staff member in Davenport, please stand so you can be recognized. There's a lot of you, so stand up. Okay, so I wanted to end with the partnerships, and I talked a lot about it already in general, but I want to talk about the particular partnerships. So again, thanks to the mayors that are sitting together, that's cool. We meet a lot, we talk a lot, we debate a lot on what's good, but the overall attitude is what's best for the community, and we try and work together on those things. Again, we debate a lot, and it's good conversation. Thanks to the respective administrators, finance folks from all across the Quad Cities getting together, discussing, debating on what's best for the community. Our Rock Island Arsenal partners, our school partners, our community partners. It's critical to what we do. You can't do things, or it's at least very, very hard to do things by yourself. It simply is. Our partners with the state, our partners with our federal government, but our staff engaging with the other communities, whether it's through bi-state, whether it's just through city administrators, whether it's through mayors, however it is critical to helping each other, if nothing else, throwing ideas off of each other and seeing where we can go with it. I can't stress how important that is, and partnerships are so critical. Sorry. But what I'm going to say now, I can't thank the partners that were engaged 2 weeks ago on a Sunday evening, and Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday, and continue. We had a tragedy here. Brandon, Ryan, and Daniel lost their lives. Miss Berry was critically injured. But the call for help, for caring individuals to come to the aid of that building on Main Street, firefighters running into that building as rescue teams with all their kit on, knowing that that building could fall, knowing that pieces of concrete can come down at any moment, only caring to try and find people and save their lives. Surgeons, medical folks, nurses going into that building to save lives and execute trauma surgery, knowing that building could come down. Police, search and rescue folks, Task Force 1 from Cedar Rapids and Sioux City. Cedar Rapids folks arriving that night, going into the building, bringing their technology to try and save lives. The partnerships that are developed in this state, when a call is needed, people respond. I can't thank, and I have no words other than thank you to the respective people in this room, to the respective first responders, both ours and Bettendorf's and the Rock Island Arsenal and Rock Island and Moline, Scott County, the EMA, Emergency Management Agency, and then our state folks only caring about how to help people. I don't have the words. I can only thank you because of the partnerships we have, that when we call, you don't say, what is this about? You don't ask, what will this cost? You just come to help. And if there's no other message here, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the staff enough, our staff, for engaging. Our folks working at the EMA, the Emergency Management Agency for Scott County, engaging with the respective state and federal partners. I thank the governor for what she has done and what response she has sent. So many people involved with the sole purpose of caring to help. Do we have things to look at moving forward? Of course we do. Of course we do. But that Sunday evening into Monday and the respective days after, that's what partnerships and people around this community do. They care, and they only care about the people, how to help. So I thank you for being here today. I thank you for participating in your city government, whether it's just coming to get a little bite to eat and engage with other folks. I thank the Rhythm City for hosting. I thank Rotary for being a great community partner. Thank you, Father. Thank you for my friends from the veterans organizations. All I can say is we learn, we grow, and we'll do better. And that's the focus. I wish you the best. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone.